This episode of New Jersey Living is being recorded in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. And for Lyndhurst, I'm featuring a spot that is not very frequently visited by much of the general public. I would say that even if you live in Lyndhurst, the odds are you probably haven't been to this location, maybe not at all or not too often. So we are right now at DeKorte Park. It is very much in the Meadowlands portion of Lyndhurst. I'm going to flash up a map right now of both of Lyndhurst and where the actual park is located, which you'll see we are right there at the edge of really the beginnings of the Meadowlands for this particular area. So I'm going to pan around now just a little bit. You'll see marshlands directly behind me. You may be able to see some of the city skyline view back there. I'll flash up a quick picture of that as well in case you cannot see it. And behind me we have is the environmental center that is here. There's also a couple other buildings that pretty much manage all of the school trips that take place here. So I would say most of the activity here is oriented around school trips. We're in the summer right now, but even with that being said, there was a camp group that was here when I pulled up over by the observatorium, which is open to the public on Wednesday nights, weather permitting, between 8 to 10 p.m. It only facilitates so many people because it's a rather small observatorium, but you can come out at night, see the moon, stars, and some planets if that's something of your interest. But in generally speaking, the buildings themselves are not open to the general public. But just as I'm on a little walking, I wouldn't call this a trail per se, but kind of a pier. This is one of another extension that runs out from here that you're not allowed to fish from this particular location, but there are locations where you can right along this stretch. So it is very much a kind of off the beaten trail portion of Lyndhurst, because similar to if you've seen my Kearney episode, there's a relative small portion of the geographic footprint that are residential. Other parts are more industrial or marshland, it's like we see right here. So Lyndhurst is very much similar to that in that regard. Not as much industry as Kearney, but you still have some industrial area over here also. So with Kearney today, we're going to jump into some more of the details in our next scene, which we're going to relocate a little bit to a new spot. But I wanted to make sure we at least had a little bit of attention and notoriety given to this location, being that not too many people know about it, right? I had to research this just to find out, learn more, and then I came out and took some photos. I'll take a little bit more walking footage for you to see, and got some information from one of the workers inside just in terms of how they operate. So we're going to get into some of those same dynamics that we always do with every community. And Lyndhurst, as you can already see, that we're directly across the Meadowlands and the Hudson from New York City. We're very much close proximity, but we'll dive into that a little bit in our next opening scene. So enjoy some of this footage of the park itself, and I'll see you at the next stop. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker and the team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. My job is to bring content like this to viewers like you. So we aim to always provide 5-star content on New Jersey Living to match the 5-star ratings that we have on Google reviews. So We want to make sure that you continue receiving these updates and this type of service. So please do click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to stay tuned and updated on all of our new content that is coming your way. So if you're looking to learn all things about New Jersey, obviously the real estate market, the entertainment and dining scenes, iconic locations, this is the channel for you. So as I mentioned today, we're here in Lyndhurst in a not too frequently visited location in DeKorte Park. I'm along one of the trails right now. Really it's kind of one larger loop of a trail. But behind me, not too far in the distance, is the New Jersey Turnpike, and just beyond that, a little further to the east, is Manhattan. Just to pan around a little bit where you can see where I am on the trail. At this point, there's a little amphitheater right here behind me, very kind of smaller, makeshift one for smaller groups if there was something to be out here. And you can see the trail that leads further around. So there's a loop that goes all the way around what's part of the Hackensack River Basin. So the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission is one of the buildings out here, and this is their location, is responsible for a lot of the management and advocacy for this area, because otherwise a lot of what we see right here could be landfill. But there is a significant role this area and areas like Meadowlands in general play in the broader ecosystem. So this is being preserved just for that purpose. A lot of wildlife is out here. I've seen a couple egrets, both white and blue ones, mallard ducks, tons of bird species out here. And of course, when we get into the water, all types of crabs and fish and what have you. So it's a pretty fascinating area if you're into nature. There's even a pontoon boat that's for free that takes you out into the Hackensack River and seeing some of Secaucus and Jersey City. So that's something that, again, not too many people hear about and maybe even know about. So some more reason to visit this portion of Lyndhurst. So with Lyndhurst today, we're going to jump right into our big three. So Jersey Hunters, you know what that's all about. Those who are new, big three are the three driving factors of real estate demand in northern New Jersey. So those are proximity to New York City, and you can already see New York City is right here behind me. Second would be local train station, and third would be school ratings. Those three factors drive demand, and demand, of course, is going to generally equate to market value. If you have all three check marks, it's absolutely going to be a higher demand location. 2 out of 3, there are even some locations that are still higher demand with 2 out of 3, because one of those other two dynamics that did get a check probably is pretty significant. So those are things that we're going to jump into right now. So first, proximity. We right now are literally 6 miles from Manhattan. You could jump on Route 3, be at the Lincoln Tunnel, and with no traffic, I say 15-20 minutes. All right. Traffic can always play a part in that, and usually does, because there's a lot of traffic that, as you can imagine, goes into Manhattan. The second item in terms of train station, and yes, there is a local train station here in Lyndhurst. So Lyndhurst, that station, the fastest train can get you into New York Penn Station in 29 minutes. Depending on the time of day, it can be as long as 45. Just depends on the nature of that train, how many stops, what have you. So that definitely gets a check mark for both proximity and the commute, which makes it a very valuable option for commuters. Third would be public schools, and for public schools, I reference niche.com to remove any of my own subjective opinions. I just reference niche.com for that rating. It is a B rating, and I reserve check marks for A-rated districts, A+, A, or A-. So in this case, we're talking about a B, which is by no means a bad school district, but it's not one of those districts that draws high enough reviews that families are thinking, okay, I want to move to that location, not just before the schools, but really schools are a major reason why I'm going there. All right, so Lyndhurst and other districts that are Bs really don't have that level of notoriety for schools, but that does not mean they are poor or low performing school districts by any means. So 2 out of 3 check marks for our Lyndhurst location. So we have a scenario where we are on the far kind of southeastern corner of Bergen County. And these are historically some of your kind of middle and working class communities. All right, so we're going to see a lot of homes that match a similar kind of footprint. We have there are a few bigger and larger ones in the community, yes, but by and large, lot sizes are relatively small. Home sizes themselves are relatively modest. And we'll see that reflected in price ranges also. So it's a very, I see like Kearney, and we're going to see very soon, we're going to see North Arlington as well. So Kearney, North Arlington, Lyndhurst are all locations close proximity to the city, but you generally have a very, very solid 400, 500, 600 inventory in those markets, and we're going to see again a taste of that today. So I'm going to have a little bit more of some of the walking footage right here in the park. I would say if you are relatively local, looking for something to do on a summer afternoon or day, today is probably not that day because this is one of those hottest days of the year scenarios, although we are kind of having some overcast cloud cover right now, which is helping this particular clip because I don't have to bake in the sun. But we're going to keep it moving at this point on to our first location, first property, take that tour, enjoy a little bit more footage here, and I'm going to flash a few of these signs that I'm noting throughout the walking trail just to give us a little insight on some of the wildlife and the trail itself. So enjoy that, and I'll see you at the first stop. Here we are at our first stop in Lyndhurst in front of 273 Castle Terrace. I'm going to pan up some so you can really see the full profile of this property and the street. It's a relatively narrow street, but a very diverse selection of homes on the block, but otherwise a really quiet block. Pan up again, so you can see that full profile. It does have driveways on the opposite side over here, so there is off-street parking. This property was listed at $599, sold at $683 with 8 days on market. Again, 3-bed, 2 full bath. This is a scenario where you have all the normal upgrades that you would expect in terms of updated kitchen, granite countertops, ensuite in the primary bedroom. Location-wise, we are less than a mile from the train station. I'll flash up a couple photos there, and then I'm going to pass you a kind of a pan view of Lyndhurst Municipal Park, which is right there by Town Hall. We're directly in direct proximity of that as well. So as you can see, lovely park setting right there by Town Hall. And again, a lovely block like you see just right here. So this is kind of what I was speaking to when I referenced, even though you may not see all these check marks on the big three, there's some nuance to it. So depends on how heavily weighted those other check marks are and where they fell on the continuum of being check mark, not check mark. So, we have to factor those dynamics in as well, because if you consider, 2 out of 3, you may say, hey, well, that's not that great, but it's really, in this situation, it's really a good quality kind of scenario you want to be in, all right, for the price point. All right, so we're going to get some road footage in here and head to our next couple stops. 3 more to go. See you there. So here we are at our second Lyndhurst stop, and this is in front of 412 Park Place. So I'm going to pan up again. This is a little bit elevated, so I'm going to pan up to get the full profile here. This case, it was a 3-bedroom, 2, I believe, just 2, not 2.5, but you'll see the correct information flash up. This one priced at $499, sold at $505, roughly about maybe 2 weeks on the market. Taxes at 8,000, so very, very reasonable considering we are in a location very close to the city. So I'm going to pan around a little bit so you can see the full neighborhood layout here. Nice quiet street. You're not, again, this is a relatively small town, particularly the residential section. Like I mentioned before, there's a substantial part of the town that is kind of industrial and meadowlands, but there's also section that is residential, and that's where we are right now, which is relatively small, and you have a lot of quiet little side streets here. All right, so this is that kind of neighborhood. So this interior wise, there were upgrades, open concept, so very much a turnkey type of scenario that you can walk into. Not fully renovated, not walking into everything brand new, but definitely upgrades being done with an open kind of concept, which is popular right now with many homeowners. So obviously you can see that there's a driveway here, and I believe, let me take a quick peek if there was, in this case, I believe, yeah, so detached down in the back. So this is, you know, again, if you're a first-time buyer, and just to pan again, just to get the general feel, first-time buyer in an area, looking for an area that is close proximity to the city and not having to pay extreme high property taxes and just home values itself, Lyndhurst is a consideration. All right, so this is number 2. We have 2 more to go. Enjoy some road footage. I'll see you at the next stop. Here we are at stop number 3 at 709 6th Street. Features of this particular property was 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So that's one standout feature, that you have 3 bathrooms altogether. But the real standout feature is that overall square footage is about 2,300 square feet, including the finished 3rd floor attic. And there is a 3-car detached garage, right? So you can see that, you know, just from the exterior, this is not one of those scenarios where you have a lot of upgrade that is here. But given the parking feature here, once you pull into this driveway that's right over here, I'll walk this way a little bit so you can kind of see a little better the driveway situation. So they pull into the driveway all the way into the back. The lot is pretty exceptional in size for the neighborhood, because I will pan around just a little. So you see neighborhood-wise, lots are relatively small because you're close together in this location. But it's 135 feet in depth, 65 feet wide. So it's a very sizable backyard that goes back, and you make a little curve to the left, and there's that 3-car oversized garage. There's room to spare along with those 3 bays. So this, again, pan up again so you get a full view of the profile. It's going to be a scenario where you're still buying. I'm gonna flash up the numbers because the list was in the high 4s, sold was in the 5s. Forgive me for not remembering everything right offhand right now, but again, that's why I have to flash up, just to make sure everything is accurate, because I go through a ton of these properties, as you can imagine. So sometimes the numbers all jumble together. But main features, again, 3-car garage, square footage, and that 3-bed, 2.5 bath. All right, so this neighborhood dynamic wise, pan around one more time, you can see that there's a little bit of a difference between what we see here and where we just were at Park Place, and that's going to factor into the amount of demand, same as the amount of upgrades that were on the interior. But some of those offset when you have a lot and square footage like this. Does make a difference. All right, so we've got one more stop to go. Enjoy some more road footage. I'll see you there. Here we are at the final stop, 776 Chase Ave in Lyndhurst, and I'm going to pan around. We're pretty much in the same neighborhood with our last 3 stops. So panning around here, and you can see this is a smaller Cape style. I'm going to let you see the side profile a little bit so that you can see there is an upstairs that's dormered out in the back, which goes a long way in terms of livable space and square footage upstairs. That normally equates to 2 full bedrooms that are good size and a bathroom upstairs. All right, or at least a half. So this priced at, get this, $419, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Priced at $419, sold at $460. All right. Oddly, it was 88 days on the market, but it wasn't upgraded or anything like that. See the dumpster out here, so it looks like they're definitely doing some upgrades, which would transform market value immediately. As I pan around, you see a mix between Cape small colonials in the neighborhood, lovely neighborhood, and I, as you see in street footage, you see the same, throughout Lyndhurst. As I mentioned before, the check marks don't always spell out the quality of community, and having a B-rated school district by no means is reflective of a poor school district or a community that's not a really, really good community. So this is an area that stays relatively quiet. I have a client who's not too far from here that made a purchase, is very, very happy with the neighborhood and with the location. And the commuting, you just can't beat. You're really next door to Hudson County. All right, we're just separated from Hudson by the Hackensack River. So, and on the other side, we have the Passaic River on the other side of town, and on the other side of that is Nutley. All right, so very much area that is high quality in terms of the community. This right here, an opportunity you can see that's under $500,000 to buy in. 3-bed, 2.5 bath. Yes, you may do some upgrades. You need to put a little love into it, but it pays out in the end. All right, taxes under $9,000. All right, so this is why I certainly give a clear thumbs up for Lyndhurst as a community, and this is something that hopefully, if you are an owner in Lyndhurst, you are able to better appreciate your value. All right, and if you need an update on your value, by all means, reach out to me or my team. It doesn't matter if you're moving this year, next year, 5 years, 10, 20 years. Know your value on your property because it is a significant investment. We provide market valuations. There's no charge to that at all. It's just what we do in our business. We're always assessing, evaluating what is happening in all of the markets locally. So my contact information is right here. If you need any assistance, any help, any feedback, drop some comments right here on the channel as well, or contact me directly by email, cell phone, Instagram, Facebook. Any of those are fine as well. All right, so I want to thank everyone for joining today. Again, if you have not done so already, click like, click subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay tuned. So stay safe and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.